The year 2020 was an extraordinary year marked by a pandemic, lockdowns, and social distancing. For a while, we all stayed home, and when we were told it was safe to go out again, overwhelming numbers of people flocked to their nearest outdoor spaces for recreation, exercise, and human interactivity. To share the impact COVID-19 has had on visitor management in our protected areas, a study was conducted in 14 European protected areas to assess the challenges brought on by the pandemic, short-term solutions put into place, and lessons learned that will prepare park managers for better practices in the future. The first challenge faced by the parks and surrounding communities was an immediate and drastic reduction in visitor numbers as governments put lockdown policies in place. As local restrictions began lifting, people were encouraged to spend time in outdoor settings. Protected areas noted drastic increase in visitor numbers almost immediately. This included an increase to more than the normal expected amount of visitors, as well as an increase of visitors outside of the normally expected days and times, and led to overcrowding and traffic congestion. The increase in visitors brought about a second challenge, a new type of visitor that brought with them a new type of visitor behavior. Urban citizens who were not previously frequent visitors to natural areas fled from the cities to get fresh air. Park managers noted an increased number of people inexperienced in outdoor recreation venturing into areas or situations for which they were not prepared. Specific behaviors noted across the 14 protected areas studied included visitors not following conservation goals of the protected area, illegal parking, increase in litter and other waste, elevated noise levels, and disagreements among users over what type of behavior was appropriate at the park. The study found that conflicts escalated as interpretive programming was canceled and visitor centers closed due to COVID-19 restrictions. This severely limited option for activity, as well as closed down portions of the park normally included in recommended visitor capacities. Less expected, local residents became resentful of visitors flocking to the area, making them feel less safe from COVID-19 and less able to go outdoors to recreate themselves. Conflicts arose as parking and litter problems began to spill out into the community, and as the local residents felt they were being restricted from using their outdoor facilities while strangers were flooding in from far away. Remarkably, park managers thought quickly on their feet to address many of the challenges they faced. Leaflets were distributed at park entrances, sharing important conservation messaging and park rules. Signage was placed at gathering spots encouraging proper litter and waste disposal, and parks began using social media to inform visitors of crowded areas and times of day. To address traffic issues, rangers implemented stricter parking enforcement measures, increased parking fees to encourage carpooling, and even created a mobile app that tracked the number of users in an area to encourage visitors to spread out throughout the park or wait to visit until a quieter time. Perhaps most timely, many park managers implemented a one-way system on their trails to aid in proper social distancing, and most began limiting access to park facilities and even to the park itself. So what was to come of it all? Most managers of these protected areas agreed that introducing more people to the natural environment surrounding them is a good thing, but there is much to learn from the past year and how to address and engage these new visitors. Solutions that need to be considered include implementing a broader distribution of users across the entire protected area. This means reviewing zoning, adding activity options, and studying the current flow of visitors to address congestion areas and underutilized spaces. Increasing the number of protected areas in a region to more evenly distribute users. This solution will take cooperation between locals, park managers, state and national governments to recognize the need for more green space, to protect it for the use of all more equally. Park managers also need to continue addressing the need for education to new visitors. Much cooperation can be made in recognizing that new visitor types may have a different idea of how best to use the outdoors. While park managers are educating on principles of conservation, they need to also learn and adapt to the needs of these new visitor groups. And lastly, there needs to be more cooperation between park administrators, local, regional, and national governments. All entities need to be involved in lockdown restrictions, public health initiatives, and other actions that are going to cause a change in visitor numbers in the future.